Have you been jerking it too hard? No, not that. Your trigger finger. Get your mind out of the gutter. Hey guys, Carter here with Patriot Training Center. Today I want to talk to you about the different trigger presses and what that does to your shots. And focusing on this and working on this can really help your accuracy while you're shooting at speed, or if you're slowing down and making those precise hits. It doesn't matter if your trigger press isn't great. You can have a hard time pushing through the goals that you want to hit while you're in your shooting journey. So let's talk about jerking the trigger. So this is a thing that gets misrepresented sometimes. People think that just because you pull the trigger fast means that you're jerking the trigger. That's not true. You're going to have to pull the trigger fast if you're trying to shoot fast. So it's not necessarily that you're pulling the trigger fast and hard. It's that you're not pulling it aligned straight back. So I'll show you guys what that looks like here. I have a B8 target and I'm going to jerk the trigger, and what it's going to do is it's going to push the muzzle of the gun down and I'll start hitting low and to the left, okay? So I'm going to get out on target and I'm just going to slap the trigger and it's going to push my gun down like this. All right, so as you guys can see, that one actually, the last one I had to be really dramatic about it and I put it right there. And that one's all the way out. This one was okay, but still not where I want it. And then this is to the left. So I'm slapping that trigger and it's pushing the end of the muzzle down. Now, I'll work on pulling it straight back to the rear. I'll shoot the same speed, but I'll try and get better hits on this one, all right? Okay, so as you guys can see, this was my first one where I was slapping the trigger. This one I let get away from me a little bit. Most of those or two of these are in the X ring, one is in the 10 ring still. So same cadence, same speed, but I was pulling the trigger straight to the rear instead of slapping the trigger and jerking it. So I'll show you what that looks like dry here. When I pull the trigger, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can either slack out and then push through the wall, or you can just evenly push all the way through. Both of those, I'm pulling this trigger straight to the rear. So it doesn't necessarily matter which one you use. Sometimes I'll do the slack out method if I'm shooting a little bit further back, but most of the time I actually just roll pressure onto the trigger. But you have to make sure that it's coming straight to the rear and you're not pushing the muzzle of the gun in different directions while you're pulling the trigger. So this is what it looks like when I was banging the trigger. So if you guys can see, my muzzle comes off alignment because this is pushing, my trigger finger is pushing the gun off alignment. So I'm not pulling the trigger straight to the rear. Some of that can be covered up with having a good grip, but it's still, the basic fundamental is make sure that you're pulling the trigger straight to the rear, okay? So same thing, it would look like this when I'm slacking out. So I'm slacking out straight through. You can even do the same thing when you're slapping the trigger, right? I'm slacking out, bam. Now my muzzle alignment has gone off. So the best way that you can work on this is through dry fire. So dry firing, making sure that that trigger's coming straight back and you're not moving your sights. One thing that I will caution you when doing that type of dry fire is you want to do it at the speed that you're actually shooting, not sitting there trying to do it super slow. At first you'll start slow, but you want to get faster and faster and faster, where you can, as fast as it comes up, you're pulling the trigger. So pull the trigger fast straight through, just like that. You do not have to jerk the trigger to go fast. You just have to pull it straight to the rear. The best way to work on this is through dry fire. We have a 30-day dry fire program in the description below. Go click that link, it's completely free, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.